Hey guys, and welcome back to my podcast. I am pretty excited to be back, and if you noticed, why do I always say this? Really? So if you've noticed, I've not really uploaded any podcast episodes since like last year because we're always at the drawing board doing what we know how to do best. I'm always at the drawing board doing what I know how to do best, and so I bring to you like developments that have occurred since the last time I was here on this podcast. Yes, so initially Dvonshire Podcast, where you are right now, was a podcast for British history, the royal family, and British movies and series, and we're doing pretty amazing. We were doing quite well. However, I just had time. I made a choice to make the podcast uniformed with my YouTube channel because I think that is the right thing to do. Now, on my YouTube channel called Learn English with Ruth, I teach English lessons. Basically, currently I'm running, a free grammar course on my YouTube channel where I give grammar lessons for free, and so I just want it to be uniformed. So the same or almost the same content on my YouTube channel. I just put the same or almost the same, but not the same. Okay, not the same, kind of content that are on my YouTube channel. I'll put, similar to those. I'll put them here on my podcast. And I think the reason is that, first of all, when I started out my Dvonshire Podcast, the name, pretty amazing name. I chose it because it's kind of like my own style of saying Devonshire, which is a county in the UK. So I'm like, okay, I want to start a podcast. So I just looked for inspiration, there. And then I decided to name my podcast that. And so over the years, Learn English with Ruth, which is the name of my YouTube channel and also the name of my personal brand where I teach English, is what I'm known for. It's what people know me for. And so I'm like, I think this podcast might really do much better if it's just uniformed, where I have a YouTube channel, Learn English with Ruth YouTube channel, and also when I have Learn English with Ruth podcast. And so this is where the change is. Dvonshire Podcast is going to be changed up to Learn English with Ruth podcast because I think that uniformity is necessary across all borders. And also my content is also going to change. I'm no longer going to just focus on movies, movie series, British TV and stuff like that. We just delve. I think, and I feel it in my bones that now is the time to delve deep into English, teaching English pronunciation, English grammar, and also English vocabulary development. So that is why I'm just talking to you guys, because there's going to be a lot of changes. I did just 10 major episodes of my podcast, and I talked about movies, Cruella. I don't think I talked about the Peaky Blinders. I talked about that on my channel as a video, and I talked about a lot of things, but then now is the time for uniformity. Now is the time for me to say, yes, we just have to make everything uniformed, and also it just takes a lot of stress off of me in a way that I'm not really trying to brainstorm totally different things from what I do on my YouTube channel. It just make me, I've been on YouTube for the last 2 years, so it's just helped me bring out better content, and I know that what I'm doing on my podcast is also going to help me with my YouTube channel, that kind of thing. So I think it's better. So Dvonshire Podcast, as I'm saying the name, I really love the name, really. So Dvonshire Podcast, it's going to be called Learn English with a Podcast because it's just that uniformity and nothing more to it, and for better content creation and not different brainstorming. And not brainstorming something entirely different and maybe struggling at it, and I want to build more proficiency teaching English, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. I think I started out as a pronunciation teacher, and I still very much do that. So on this Learn English with Ruth podcast, we're going to be talking about grammar, vocabulary development and pronunciation. That's what I do on my YouTube channel, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. So it's more or less like the uniformity across borders. I'm inviting you to just walk with me to learn more, to improve, to develop yourself. And I can also say that for the last 2 years that I've been talking about English on my channel and also having classes with people, I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of corrections, a lot of turnbacks, a lot of changes, a lot of becoming better, making corrections for the mistakes that I've made in the past, making better videos, making better YouTube videos, making better podcast episodes. I remember the first time I took up my phone and recorded my first podcast episode. I was like last year, and I was like, what in the world is this? This is so crap, but it is what it is. We grow by doing what we do over and over again. We grow by repeating stuff over and over again. We grow by learning from mistakes. We grow by not letting mistakes stop us. We grow by not letting our flaws stop us. So Learn English with Ruth Podcast is the podcast that would help you improve on your English language, because that's what I'm here for. Now, if you are looking, to see my face, maybe or maybe not, if you're looking to see my face, you can go to my YouTube channel called Learn English with Ruth YouTube channel, and also follow me on Instagram at Learn English with Ruth or Learn English with _Ruth. You can also go to my Facebook page, British English with Ruth, and just look for me. You can also send me a message on this podcast. You can also send me a voice message. One thing about having a podcast is that feedback you get from your audience. They're listening. It's not just looking at the analytics and you're like, oh, I have 1,000 listeners, I have 10,000 listeners. It's about the fact that your listeners, give you feedback. They send you voice notes, they send you, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any, input, yes, if you also want to support this podcast, feel free to do so. And I'll see you in my very, very, very first episode as Learn English with Ruth. Well, I think it's my 12th episode, overall. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.